Hello, everyone. This is another edition of Good Art, Bad Artist. I'm always excited by artists who make me realize that there's more things we can do with what we already think we know. And so his art is a play on shapes and colors. It's very spiky, very pop, but also tasteful and not necessarily tacky or in your face. I like visual art like his that offers new ways of seeing the familiar. He twists things up in a way that is understandable yet fucking unique. They almost His works have a very loud imagery that almost explode either in spikes or bubbles. And I also kind of get a spiritual energy from what he does. There's a lot of magic, a sense of magic in his works. So this is Jer Dee. Say hi to our listeners.
Hi. I'm so excited to be in this episode. I'm such a huge fan of like electromilk. And hi again. I'm introducing myself. I'm Jer Dee. I'm an illustrator slash art director, and I have been in the industry for quite a while. Pero parang I just found my footing just recently.
From where are you originally?
I'm originally from Dagupan City, sa Pangasinan, and then I moved here to Manila to study college in Benilde, and then dito na ako based ever since. Yeah.
Okay. So hello, Jer Dee, and thank you for coming. I'm so impressed that you came out from nowhere, at least in the hashtag ArtPH scene, and you already have this very particular way of doing things. Can you just tell me a background on how the quote unquote art style that you have now, how did you arrive to it?
Parang, I think kasalanan ko rin to. Parang never ako nag-participate sa hashtag ArtPH scene. Kasi parang hindi yun yung scene ko eh. Parang pansin ko ang daming kabataan doon. And then like I came from the Tumblr scene na parang alam mo yun sila Vin Kilop, sila Soleil Ignacio, ganon. So parang regarding sa art style, how did it came about? For the longest time kasi, yung mga artworks ko, it felt paano ba? Parang corporate or like kasi pag when you think of vector art or yung ganon like digital art, parang mafe-feel mo lalo na pag kunwari the word vector art, maano mo na parang generic siya or parang it's flat or like and especially recently lagi siyang sinishit on ng mga people na oh my god it's that art style again, it's that
Mm,
flat art style again. So parang
mm,
ako I wanna debunk that notion na parang hindi porket vector art yan, hindi na siya unique or
mm,
something. And then, so for how I arrived to this art style, it started last year when I was preparing for my first solo show sa Tempest. So ayun nga, parang na-feel ko kasi for the longest time na parang masyadong stiff, kumbaga, yung artworks ko. Like, yeah, makulay siya, yeah, masaya siya or whatever. Pero parang walang sense of movement or parang walang energy akong nakukuha dun sa mga artworks ko. I came about this art style kasi nag-drawing ako sa papel or like sa sketchbook. But I have like a severely, like an entirely different style sa traditional. Tapos I use a ball pen or like a ballpoint pen or like yung pen na dumudugo. Ang tawag doon? Tech pen ba yung tawag doon?
mm, mm,
Yeah. So parang for the longest time, I wanted to incorporate like that kind of like organic feel ng papel. Na iba kasi like hanggang ngayon hanga pa rin ako sa mga traditional artists kasi parang the way that they draw is different from like alam mong different talaga. Pag alam mong ginawa siya sa computer, alam mo eh. Pero pag
mm.
parang iba yung energy. What I like about like drawing traditionally is that yung parang there are mistakes made na parang yung like kunari yung ball pen nga parang yung tumatae yung ink
May
yun.
may element siya na happened out of the naturalness of things. May element siya
Yes.
na raw or unplanned in a way that makes it.
Yes.
Mm,
Yes. So parang ayun, parang gusto kong yung parang the way that the pen glides on paper, hindi siya consistent na isang linya lang, 'di ba? Parang may konting dugo. Parang I always say bleeding. So parang yun yung gusto kong yun yung gusto kong ma-achieve in my current art style kasi parang um yun yung parang parang gusto ko kasi siya, digital pa rin siya. Or parang pero alam mong hindi, shit ang hirap siya explain. Pero I hope mas
I
mo
think
siyang
I think the listeners will kind of get what you're going for. And Jer Dee, I love what you said about na because you're aware of the rigidity, and this is my word, parang sometimes there's a feeling of insincerity or
Yes.
soullessness in vector.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I think one way that you worked against that, based on my observation, is that you worked on improving your lining. Like your lining became like you what you're doing now is like fucking unexpected. Like the way you would draw legs, the way you would
Mm,
draw mouths. Like I think to solve the soullessness of cliche vector art, what you did was to really say parang fuck the rules of it. And we all know that there's a tracing culture in vectoring, no?
yeah.
And
Yeah.
parang how you countered, tell me if you agree with this, na how I see it is you countered that culture and cliche by being like, okay, fuck this, I'll just make their faces fucking long, or I will just exaggerate the fuck out of these mouths. Parang is
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
tell me about your thoughts on that.
Yeah. Kasi for me, the way that I proportionize inspired kasi parang sobrang laking inspiration kasi for me yung fashion illustration. And then I know that parang it doesn't necessarily for fashion illustration kasi it doesn't necessarily have to be realistic yung mga figures ng bodies. Parang kailangan parang sige real pa rin siya pero parang alam mong exaggerated yung
Mm-mm.
yung mga features nila, and that's what I wanted to
Yeah. I like also what you said about still using paper, because I think, and this is me also, when I started using digital, I'm like, what is a fucking paper? I'm gonna double tap the sketch pad kasi nga, parang nalaso na ako ng digitalness of it. Parang
yeah,
ganun.
yeah.
And when you said na you still sketch on paper, na you're not basically just because we see the digital art, it doesn't mean that's all you do now.
Yeah.
It's nice to know, and I think I can feel that in your work. Kasi nga, I feel a sense of openness to mistakes, openness to fuckery in what you do.
For me kasi, never kasi ako naging magaling sa traditional. Yun yung pinaka-weakness ko. So parang up till now, yun pa rin yung gusto ko i-improve in for my parang I'm not as good as like the other traditional artists, and parang gusto ko siya i-level. And then yun nga, yung parang how I arrived with the art style kasi parang yung digital output ko is severely different from my traditional output, and yun yung parang gusto kong i-marry moving forward, parang ganon. So parang sige, wala akong pakialam kung digital art yung tawag niya sa akin, parenthesis derogatory, pero like for me okay. O
No,
tapos
yeah, but ayun nga, I think you really got a way to use digital art in such a fresh way, at least lalo na in the local scene. Like I can think of anyone who does it the way you do, and I'm like so happy. And I'm like
thank you so much.
every time you would post a whip, I'm like I'm so fucking excited, and like I need a print of like literally your fucking entire Instagram timeline. And I think a common thread that I'm learning from my guests is that these weaknesses, these weak points that you think you have, mahina ako sa ganito, mahina ako sa ganyan, it's actually what would direct you to where your art can go. Do you
Yeah.
feel that way?
Yeah. Actually, yun nga nung ginagawa ko yung art style ko for Tempest, yun yung yun yung surprise na nakuha ko na parang nung nagawa ko na siya on Illustrator, tas parang holy shit, parang may na-unlock ako na ano, na
Mm.
parang it started as a mistake na parang oh my god, bakit ganito yung itsura nito? Pero parang I was still open to like experimenting on how the lines can go further, ganon. And then eventually,
Oo.
oh shit, gumana to. Tapos, ayun, parang
I
ganon. It's because of
know.
failing. It's because of failing, kaya ko siya nakuha.
Yeah, and kasi nga, I think to be good at everything is fucking boring. And sa art kasi, what makes it fun is when you have to find alternative ways to get to where you want, or
Yes,
when you're not given this thing, you will end up like going to an entirely different route, and that will
yes.
what will make your art parang fucking good on its own, parang ganun. This question may be kind of obvious in a way, but I think sometimes their answers surprise me. Like, what subject matters, motives, or even like abstract feelings are you drawn to?
Sobrang madami, pero parang ang so for the like the broadest, for my broadest inspirations, nakukuha ko talaga yung inspirations ko from music, fashion, and video games. Yun yung pinaka-broad. Pero like, sa fashion, parang tumitingin ako sa mga local artists, sorry, sa mga local designers. Kasi I can say na sobrang daming local talent na magaling na hindi pa sumisikat, and bakit. For me kasi, whenever I start on a new illustration, hindi ako tumitingin sa works ng other illustrators, because that would like influence my work, na baka mamaya it would borderline, baka mamaya kinokopya ko na pala yung
Kasi
shit nila.
Kasi sometimes that happens not even intentionally, no? Na when you keep
Yes.
looking at what someone does, ang ending, gano'n na rin what you do. Mm.
Yes. So parang ako, ang ginagawa ko, I try to look at other um, fields, other creative fields other than illustration. So right now, sobrang suki ako sa Instagram, tapos follow a lot. Recommend ko sa'yo si Robbie Manuel. Itatype ko dito kung kilala mo siya. Si Robbie Manuel, si Third World BB.
I love Third World BB.
Sobrang ano niya, 'di ba? Sobrang fashion niya. Tapos parang
Oo.
shit, sobrang na-inspire ako sa mga whatever out. Yung if ikaw gusto mo ng print ng mga stuff ko, ako gusto ko ng mga shit na nilalabas niya every time. Like
Oo,
parang
oo.
shit.
May humor siya, may innovation, I love basta
Yes.
laging may middle finger to the system.
Yes, tapos very DIY pero parang sobrang fashion pa rin. So parang puta, paano
Oo,
mo
parang
nagagawa 'yun?
she's Diyosa. She's fucking Diyosa na
Yes.
untouchable bitch.
Yes. Like for me, hands down, siya talaga. She is the moment for me. Ayun. And then like, aside from her, I'm inspired also by other photographers. Si JP Talapian, si Robbie Manuel, and sino ba to? Si Koji Arboleda. Yun, yung mga yun.
I feel for you when you say na your influence is beyond illustration lang. Because I'm the same, like, yung mga manananggal promo art, puro siya reference ng mga Tumblr fashion. Because up to this day, I'm still on Tumblr. And I encourage people to be there. Kasi nga,
Yeah.
maingay siya, pero ibang ingay siya.
Mm-mm.
I have USB na fucking thousands of images from Tumblr
From
for
Tumblr.
years.
It is the source. It is the source. I
I
agree.
love that. And kaya nga ako naiinis when artists would, like three artists would end up touching on the same imagery or style na ano ba, mag-Tumblr kayo? Parang there's so many ways to do things. There's so many
Yeah.
ways to the language of art is like fucking endless. Tapos
Yes. Yes.
you would all draw this that same way. You would
Yeah.
all draw the same fucking meme.
Yeah. I get it. Sa mga meme or like sa mga
I
trending shit sa
I want
ArtPH.
I want to show you my Tumblr of ito yung mga reblogs lang.
O
I think
sige.
you'll ay sorry hindi siya
Alam mo, gagawa na ulit ako ng Tumblr because like I left Tumblr when everybody left. Kasi parang
Ay ako may times talagang babalik lang ako tas sobrang
ang
nakaka-inspire.
dami kasi inspiration talaga dito. I agree. Oh
Sobra.
my God. sige, gagawa na ako. Oh my God, ang ganda ng mga nire-reblog mo. Reblogs to.
Oo,
Oh my God,
lahat.
may nakita kong Morrigan. Hello, hello girl.
Oo. Actually, minsan kahit once a month na lang ako magbukas. Pero it
Yeah,
always, ang sarap mag-save ng image to use as a reference. I think
I agree.
you, we operate the
And you
same.
know what? Alam mo, may surprise ako may surprising inspiration akong nakuhanan. Whenever I try to illustrate something unique sa subject matter ko, I look at Amazon or Shopee or like that's parang kunwari may makita kong ano like kunwari itong work ko with the dragon posting sa eBay na parang nagbebenta siya ng mga jade dragons. Tapos parang shit, sobrang ganda ng design na to, and then I wanted to
Oh,
adapt that in my artwork.
you really have to keep an open eye. I think a good artist is a good filter in a way na ayun nga like si Gino, 'di ba? Inspired siya by Filipino like aesthetics na mga
Yes.
candy wrappers, mga
Oo.
Chinese products.
Oo,
It's
yung sachet archives niya,
mm,
sobrang fina-follow ko rin yun.
ako
Isang
naman
inspiration ko rin yun.
ako naman sa ganyan, one big inspiration, not now so much, pero like around 2017, yung mga lumang National Geographic magazines.
Mm, mm.
Fucking A.
Yeah,
Mga
I,
animals doon,
I
people, the
get it.
people. Yeah.
I get it. I get it. Yeah.
Music. Music.
Sa music naman, paano ba? Parang I also try to keep an open mind kasi with music. Parang dati kasi hindi ako masyado K-pop. Pero ngayon, yung na-mention mo nga, because of Ace pa, yung mga ganon, sila Ace pa,
Oo,
sobrang ganda.
oo,
Kasi
oo.
for me, malaking factor din kasi like the visual na nilalabas ng artists.
Kasi, girl, when you look at it, the songs, you can reassign all the songs and it will be like, okay, Red Velvet na yun. Hindi kasi, I think in K-pop, it's really a production machine
Mm-mm.
na the artists that they have are dolls that they dress up na
Yeah.
hindi naman siya input talaga nung artist the way Lady Gaga's work is Lady Gaga's work.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Or like FK8 Twigs, grabe, parang walang pangit na nilabas si FK8 Twigs.
and,
Diyos ko Lord.
I
Diyos ko
know.
Lord.
Sobrang, yeah, yan, isa pang Diyosa yan na lumulutang sa lupa.
I'm so inspired right now by 2000s music. Like, when before, this is before the internet boom. Sila Aliyah, si
TLC,
TLC, sino pa ba? Buster Rhymes, Missy Elliott, Destiny's Child,
Ciara, Nelly
Ciara,
Furtado.
Janet Jackson. Tapos parang they have like this, paano ba, they have this vision of the future na parang tang ina hanggang ngayon pag tinignan mo, it's so timeless and it's so
Mhm,
like,
mhm.
holy shit, paano nyo naisip yan? Tapos hanggang ngayon kinokopya pa rin siya ng mga tao.
Oo, oo. I know
Ganon.
what you mean. And yeah, I think that definitely, I see all these things in your work, pero hindi siya necessarily derived from it.
Yes.
Kaya nga, I think having a vast visual vocabulary in your mind is always important.
Yeah.
Kasi
Yeah.
to me kahit gaano ka skillful on the technicals, if ang idea mo lang ng portrait ay black and white pencil portrait na PixArt,
Ni,
di
oo, na
ba?
mukha ni Liza Soberano, ganon. Charot.
Oo,
Pero,
wala, parang to me, like, ayun nga, I've said this before and I'll keep saying it, skill fucking bores me.
yeah, yeah. I get it. Parang yun din yung ano ko dati, yun din yung hurdle ko before. Parang I was too focused on the technical side na parang nawala or parang hindi ko na-hone yung storytelling ko. And
Mm.
yun yung parang ano ko, yun yung goal ko this year onwards, na parang i-improve yung storytelling ko through my artworks. Kasi parang at the end of the day, yung skill mo should match what you have to say,
Of course.
right? Right? Yeah.
Kasi
Ayun.
may internal conversation yun, may internal dialogue yun eh. In Manananggal, I've always wanted to write a horror story. Pero when I would draw scary things back then, they don't register as scary. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
naano ko talaga na hindi ko pa siya kaya. Pero I think now I've come to a point na, ayun nga, I'm not saying I'm so good now, but at least the story, the voice that I want to have matches the song I want to sing.
Yes, I agree. Alam mo yung kasi kakabasa ko lang ulit ng ang manananggal mo. Sobrang gusto ko talaga yung episode 4. Like, holy shit, na parang
Ano yung
for me it's so weird for me. Sobrang nag-resonate sa akin yung sa bandang huli na parang yung sila Anna and her classmates nag-uusap, and then um biglang dun sa mga end frame, ewan ko kung episode 4 to episode 3, pero
ah,
like sa end frame parang may wide shot of the school, tapos pa-zoom in
mm,
ng pa-zoom in, tapos naninilip pala si Maria Agata, tapos parang
oo,
putang ina, kinalabutan ako doon.
oo,
Like,
tapos
holy shit, girl.
thank you, I'm so happy. I see it in your work din na your works are, there's a volume to it. Your works have noise, pero it's never giving away too much, or it's never, this is what you want, so I'll give it.
Mm.
Parang, I think good art in a way is nagdadamot din, if that makes sense, na it doesn't feed you everything. So parang, I think good art in a way, okay, reachable siya for everyone.
Yeah,
But it still has to have a sense of you look up to it. Parang si Third World BB or si FKE Twigs, di ba, na you love it, you can feel it, pero what you love, it's like having
there's
a
a
God of
mystery
your
behind
own.
them.
The
Yeah.
reverence, di ba?
Yes.
Na
Yes.
I'll never fully get this. And that's what I like about it. Like your works, when I look at it, there's always gonna be something more every time I look at it. It's a
I
fucking
thank you.
journey. And kaya nga sabi ko, I really need prints. Kasi parang, alam mo yung hindi ka magsasawang, oh, nakita ko na yan eh. It's so
Thank
good.
you.
I think
Thank
it's
you.
you.
Kailangan ko na nga mag-print kasi sobrang ang
Yeah.
ayoko kasi nakakatamad at nakakapagod mag-pack. Yun talaga yung pinaka-ayoko, like the logistics part of it.
Eh, Diyos ko, marami namang photo store kahit sa SM lang na bibigay mo lang yung USB, okay na.
Oo,
Wala
yun nga eh.
yeah,
Oo, ito na. Parang, oo, marami nang humihingi. So, ito na, ibibigay ko na by
tama.
ano.
Ay, nako. Give the people what they want.
Yes, I agree. I agree.
Speaking of what people want, I want to proceed with the Nike collaboration, which is congrats. Like, what the
Thank
fuck?
you. Thank you so
And
much.
I would just want to ask, how did that come about? Did they DM you? Like, is this where you just, did you just know the right people, or how did this work?
No, nagulat ako kasi parang na surprisingly they found my work through Instagram. So parang it's
Oh,
not through connections.
oh,
It's not through connections. It's really through Instagram. So parang ina, I hate Instagram, but thank you Instagram, I guess.
no. Oh my.
I
You
hate
know
the
what?
algorithm.
I mean, not to be sentimental, but it really speaks to the thing na you do what you can, you roll with what you've got. You just put
Yes.
it out there, di ba?
Mm-mm,
You
mm-mm.
just put it out there. You shut up and you do the work.
Yeah. Which yun yung ginawa ko. Parang ever since kasi parang never akong sumakay. Well, sumasakay din ako minsan sa trends or like whatever's trending sa artwork. Kung ano yung bet ko, gagawin ko. Pero kung I'd rather um parang I'd rather make something na galing sa utak ko.
Oh,
Oo,
get.
like ayokong parang na-influence ako because ginawa to ng ibang artists, ganun.
Mm-mm. I
Tapos
respect that, and I'm the same.
ayun nga, parang nung nakuha na yung uh, nung nag-reply na ako sa email, tapos parang nag-reply back sila na parang, oh, okay, let's schedule a meeting, Tapos doon lang nag-sink in sa akin na, fuck, it's real. Holy shit, totoo to. Na parang,
Ganun
hanggang
kalaki
ngayon,
pangalan, di ba?
oo, hanggang ngayon hindi pa rin ako na paniwala. Kaya parang nag-sink in lang siya sa akin nung pinost ko na siya on Instagram. Pero nung nagawa ka, sobrang, fuck, ba talaga ito ginagawa ko? Ganon.
What was it like entering the fucking store with your art displayed on it?
It was so fucking unreal. Parang, ang ina, pinapasukan ko na ibang tao para bumili ng sapatos, tapos makikita ko yung mukha ko nandyan. Parang,
I
what the
know,
fuck?
I know.
Grabe.
Can I just ask about the technicals na you show them your work? Is it like, okay, this is good? Or were there mga, not, you don't need to go into the specifics, but what was it like talking to such a huge company like this? Like, may long list ba sila na this is what you cannot do?
Kasi nung binrief nila sa akin yung brief, pinakita nila yung works ko dun sa ano nila, parang we want it like this. Tapos parang, gawa ko to magagawa ko to.
Oh
Tapos parang, shit,
man, that is
pumunta kayo sa Instagram ko, screenshot
mm-mm.
niya yung mga gawa ko. Tapos,
Oh fuck.
ano, parang sobrang kinilig talaga ako. Na parang,
Oh yeah.
holy shit. And then like the brief was dance kasi parang it was supposed to be it was in line with their current campaign na parang dance din. Tapos parang gusto nila ganun yung vibe. Tapos ako parang ang ina game kasi gusto ko rin yung
Oh
vibe and I love
yeah,
dance music.
yeah.
Music.
Really the lesson there is ayun nga, parang listen to listen to your heart. Pero yeah, you need to I think yeah, you said na there's a tendency for people to do what everyone else is doing. But I think when you keep doing that, okay, you get the likes, okay, you
Mm-mm.
get the mutuals, but you will
Mm-mm.
be lost in the fucking crowd.
Yes,
You know what
yes.
I mean?
Yes, yes. So for me kasi parang hanggang ngayon hindi parang when I compare myself to like other established or like other artists even on Twitter na parang yung follower count ko konti lang compared to like the others. Pero parang never kasi naging issue yun sa akin. Like yung follower count because I like at the end of the day I post what I want and if I love what I do and I love what I post, that's what matters.
I get it. Like there was a period in 2017 and 2018 where a lot of these white, well, hindi naman lahat white, a lot of these, lo-fi artists with
Yes.
SoundCloud and GarageBand and Bandcamp, they
Mm-mm.
fucking gravitated towards my work. And I'm like, who are these people? And they just basically, ayun, ganun din na, they enjoyed what you put out. Parang, obviously, I'm not the best. Pero, kasi nga, you really have to have your voice, and I think it has to come naturally. It has to
Yes.
come na first that I need to draw every character with big eyes because
Yeah,
that
yeah.
has to be my style now. Like, and I think the not everyone will get it, but the right people will. Parang ganun.
Yeah, yeah. Yun yung I think ganun nga yung works ko for so long. Parang syempre I also wondered na bakit hindi pumapatok yung mga
Mm,
gawa
mm.
ko. Parang
I
ganun. Parang pero parang at the end of the day, parang nagsa-self-affirm na lang ako na parang one day, people will get this na parang one day makikita rin yung mga shit ko. Basta dapat dapat happy ako sa output ko. And that is my mantra since 2017 or since 2016. Yeah.
The next segment is called Recommend Me Shit, where you basically
Mm.
recommend to me or the listeners any song, type of art, book, activity, religion, cult, TV show, skincare regimen. Recommend us anything.
Sige, music na lang i-recommend ko. Paano ba? Since I listen to a lot of like the old stuff right now, I highly recommend Missy Elliott's Miss E So Addictive. That is album 1. Album 2, An Evening with Silk Sonic. Album 3, Roisin Murphy, yung album niya noong 2020. Tapos, Sino pa yung pwede kong i-recommend? Sade, Love Deluxe,
Oh,
and fucking Mariah Carey, that album with Butterfly. I think Butterfly is the title of that album. Sorry, sobrang ano ba ng
you
ano
know
ko.
what? You know what's funny? Before this recording, I was literally listening to My All and I Still Believe by Mariah Carey. That's literally what I was playing. And wait lang, I suddenly got curious. Kilala mo si Salvia in Instagram?
Si Salvi, yung parang non-binary drag queen siya ba yun?
Oo. God,
Yeah.
she's a fucking god.
Buhay pa rin ba siya? Nag-ano pa rin siya?
Hmm,
Active pa rin ba siya?
nagpalit lang siya ng parang username kasi nga she gets hate and stuff. Pero
Ah,
she's still rolling.
sobrang fanay ako sa kanya before. Well, actually hanggang ngayon naman. Siya, sino pa ba? Is She Hungry? Juno
Mm.
Birch. Yung mga yon like,
Ah,
those drag queens. Sobrang laki ng inspiration sa akin ng mga drag queens.
and final question, Jer Dee.
Mhm.
As referring to the title of the show, you don't need to give me a manifesto or something fucking serious. It could just be what you're thinking right now.
Okay.
Jer Dee, what is good art and what makes a bad artist?
sobrang Miss Universe yung sagot, pero good art comes from the heart.
Okay. Oh my God.
So
Come on,
parang,
level 3.
'di ba, good art comes from the heart, and it comes from sincerity nga. And then what makes a bad artist for me is someone who, paano ba, who offends for like offensive sake, tama ba? Or like,
Mhm.
alam mo yun, yung parang pag may inaatake silang like marginalized people, yun yung ano sa akin, yun yung definition sa akin of like a bad artist.
A
I'm not sure
bully.
if yes,
In a
bully.
way, a bully
Yes, I
through art.
agree. Oo. Tapos pag pinost na nila, tapos magko-comment ka na this is offensive, tapos mag-reply sila na parang ano,
Art.
hindi bully. Edgelord. Ayun, mga edgelord.
Yeah.
Sobrang hate ko yung mga ganun. Yeah. No, it's a no. It's a no for me.
Yeah,
Like
I know.
if parang ano naman, parang I understand that there are some artworks that can provoke but respects like
Yeah.
perspectives.
Parang you provoke, but for what? And then what?
Yeah. And then for what? And then ibabato sa'yo, satire lang yan or something generic
Oo,
na
ang
ano.
tamad. Ang
Parang
tamad ng ano, ang
tamad.
tamad ng logic. Tsaka, ayun nga. I think, yeah, it's, people really use art sometimes as an excuse, which
Yeah.
kind of, as an excuse to be a bitch and as an excuse to be a bully. It's
Mm-mm.
tiring.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Yun yung no, it's a no for me. Also, another recommendation, pero alam kong pinapakinggan mo na to, my absolute favorite album, A Seat at the Fucking Table by Miss Solange Knowles.
Holy
Forever and always. Forever and
fucking fuck.
always.
You know what? I am, as the host, I'm not allowed to recommend shit. It's a rule from the Bible. It's a rule from the Quran. Like the host is not allowed to recommend. Can you just say it again for the listeners? The last
A
album.
Seat. Okay, recommended album, A Seat at the Table and When I Get Home by Solange Knowles. Best
Fucking
albums.
fuck.
Best albums of the century. Forever and
Listen,
always.
listen. When I lived alone in Santa Rosa, every morning it's like tea to me. It's like drinking tea, listening to When I Get Home. It's it's I think the reason why I'm a better person now is because there was a time when I only listened to When I Get Home by Solange.
Mm-mm.
And the aesthetic and the art that
Forever.
came with it and the energy of her and the thing na she's not out there all the time. That's a lot of her effort is also in pushing other artists, building a community.
Yes. Yun din yung ano ko, pangako ko in life. Like, to be like Solange Knowles. And I don't know if magagawa ko siya through illustration only. What I really love about When I Get Home is, um, she talked, she showed, and she sang about her heritage. So parang, like, alam kong Texas yan. Alam kong yun yung kinukwento mo at din yung pinupush mo sa ano. And like wala siyang pake if hindi yun makuha ng audience niya or like,
Oo,
'di
yun
ba?
talaga. I think that reflects, especially in your work din nga na, it's not about having 1,000 people relate or be like, oh yeah, you're the queen. But it's more like
Yeah.
being a self-contained individual who emanates light. Parang
Mm-mm,
who has
mm-mm,
this energy that the right people can gravitate towards or ayun nga, to find
mm-mm.
home in. Kasi I really needed that during that time na parang I need someone to, napaka-corny, I need someone to hold me or for
Yeah,
me to
yeah,
feel na I can be a better individual. Parang ganun.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah. I'm so
super.
excited for whatever she's gonna put out next.
Oh,
Forever.
man. I want to end with that, the episode with that, because I want people to be like, okay, you know what? Let me check this song. But give it time, guys. It's not something that you will immediately put on Instagram na, oh, this is a bop. Like, it's supposed to be taken in.
Yes, I agree. And sabi nga ni Solange, you cannot be a singular version of yourself.
Ang favorite ko yung sa nanay niya na, you are an embodiment of God's consciousness. You are made of stars, the
Oo,
sun.
oo, ma'am, ma'am.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good.
Dahil dyan, papakinggan ko ulit siya when this
Ako rin.
podcast is over. So, thank you.
Thank you
Thank
then.
you.
Oh my God, alam mo, I have goosebumps the entire time kasi nga, I'm so happy you brought her up na, ayun, lately nalimutan ko na rin siya, the way someone would forget God at times of trouble.
Yeah.